Now we know why people join the gangs. I think it's important to know with your own child or your relatives. Or are you ignoring the basic signs? Is it staring you in the face? Is your child coming home with, for example, the latest trainers, the latest tops, sometimes even with bling, the latest phone, iPhone 7, and you haven't bought it for them, you haven't bought it for them. So where did they get that from? Where? Now, iPhones don't fall out of trees. Trainers don't just come. Notice your child, what they're wearing. That's an important thing to do, and it's a dead giveaway. Is your child offering money to top up the electric or the gas? You run out a bit of gas, and you think, got to sort the gas out, and you usually send him down the road to put it on the card or the fob or whatever, and he's volunteering to pay for the gas. Where's he getting the money from? Does your child ask for money for lunch, travel, etc.? Because he needs that. He stops asking. He's getting it from somewhere. Does your child have a PlayStation? Does he play games that you haven't bought? These games aren't cheap. They're costing £30 or £40 a time. In fact, 50 and 60 for some of the latest games. And if you've noticed, he's got a nice little pile of games and he's not looking after them too well, you better start asking some questions. You better put him by the scruff of the neck and say, where'd you get the games from? And your child, that nice little boy, nice little Johnny, always well-mannered, always looks tidy, is beginning to look a bit scruffy. And you don't notice it? Not only is he scruffy, he's beginning to come home with a bit of swagger. So he's walking around the place like he owns it, like he goes out to work and puts the bread on the table. Well, he doesn't. No. And if he's walking around like that, you're going to have little arguments with him. Not major ones, but little arguments. This is another sign. Something's changing. And you better start noticing it. Now, has he changed his friends? Has he become bolder? Even more secretive? Does he tell you anything? Does he keep quiet? Has he started to do graffiti? Maybe downstairs, on the doors, on the different areas. Someone may have told you. You need to look into that. Has he or she a nickname? They always have nicknames. For some reason, the Christian they were born with doesn't sort of work. So they do have nicknames. So listen out for it. If you hear it too much, just keep your ears peeled. Have you seen photographs? Or has he got low self-esteem? Or is he using the symbols? These are gang signs. These aren't things that, you play on the street. This one is Bricky. What's Bricky? Brixton. They know what they're doing. And, when you see these things, you've got to say, hold on a minute, John, what are you doing? How have you turned this way? And look at his interaction with other children. His interaction should be really good. But if it isn't, ask yourself why. Now, the other giveaway, I really shouldn't call it giveaway, but, it really is. It's basically music. Yeah, music. It's dangerous. Now, we have music all over the world, classical. You even have music in Iron Appa. Well, look what happens there. Now, what sort of music does he listen to? I mean, have you listened to it? I mean, in my day, we used to have, anyway, I won't tell you about my day because it's a bit old, but, these days, who does he listen to? Does he listen to Gigs? You listen to Gigs, what an intelligent young man. He makes music that for some reason they're attracted to. He makes music that they want to listen to. That, you know, not only do they want to listen to it, they want to enact what they see in it. You know, it has a great rhythm, a great bass, and as music was in our days, they used to sing. They don't sing so much now. It's more rap. And I ain't got to tell you what rap is. You've got to start listening, using these ears, because it's a giveaway. The other thing is, you know, you're going to have a young person who's going to have a mobile phone. Is he always on the YouTube account? Is he looking at that YouTube account? Is he looking at the gangs on that YouTube account? You've got to look and see what he's looking at. Is he being persuaded towards that? Now, I've got to be honest with you, it's a bit difficult because a lot of you parents, yes, you, have got no idea what's on those phones. There's loads on the phones. Now, you know, you give a child a really good mobile phone and you pay for a tariff. For example, I know quite a few kids with unlimited. Why unlimited? Limit it. But if you can't, because you're weak, find another way of doing it. Now, with children's phones, I would get a bit of software. Before you decide to get the phone, find out about the software. Put the software on the phone and don't say anything to him about it. Yeah, he'll just think it's one of the games. And this software could be the thing that saves his life and definitely saves you a lot of sleepless nights, because there's a lot of tracking software now you can use. I know you're going to say, it's not PC, you're not supposed to do it. Well, guess what? If I was in that position, I'd be wanting to do it. I want to know where he is, and I want to know where he is now. It's important. You know, he can slip out and do lots of things. Also, he's most probably got Facebook. Now, Facebook, I say, is dangerous, very dangerous. And it would be something that I would not use as much, because you can get in contact with so many people. And is he in a Facebook group? Some of the groups are good. It encourages young people to do different things. But, you know, you need to look and say, is he in a group? And if you do find he's in a group, you've got to say, is it a good group, son? Is it a good group to be in? Can you get a lot out of that group? Are you getting a lot out of that group? Are they pushing in the right directions? I mean, don't be so blatant with the questions, but, you know, over dinner, I hope you do eat with him, because, you know, that's another sign. He doesn't eat with you. You know, could be getting through the outdoors, could be eating with the boys. Not a good thing. The other thing is to keep an eye on his clothing. Does he have the latest clothing? Has he got the latest trainers? You know, a lot of them like products like G-Star, Nike. I mean, we all like these products. They're good products, but be really careful. You see him walking in the house, right, with a brand new pair of jeans, right? I'm not talking about Levi or Wrangler. They're good mates. They cost money. I'm talking about Cross jeans. Now, Cross jeans, amazing jeans. They are good and hard wearing, and a lot of the pop stars do wear them. That's because they can afford them. Now, a good pair of Cross jeans would cost you 250 quid. They look like 50 quid, but they cost 250 quid. They wear them. You know how they wear them. They wear them like, you know, they want to cop the gangsters. So they wear them halfway down their arse. All right? So, you know, there's nothing you can do about it. But let me just tell you quickly, if you might not know why, but the reason why people wear those jeans like they do, especially gangsters, is when you wear the jeans coming down, the reason behind that was that in the United States, in the prisons, which are like little villages, they haven't got a way of telling one man from another man. Basically, they all look the same. So the best way they can do it is they say, you know what? You're my partner now, and I'm going to speak between the words, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, well, I haven't got to tell you what they do, you know what they do. So the woman of the two wears the jeans a bit low. So if there's a problem where another guy's coming on to the guy, he says, what are you doing? I belong to, listen to the words, I belong to him. Actually, I'm his B.I., you know, That's what it says I'm it. And, you know, it gives a little bit of order and a bit of structure, so they leave that guy alone. Now, I don't know about you, but I know if I was in prison, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't be volunteering for this type of thing. And most people don't, but that's why it is. And they wear it hanging around their bum all the time, walking through Brixton, walking through Streatham. And you know what? It's proud and loud. They don't care, you know, because really and truly, if they'd done a bit of investigation about it, they wouldn't do it. They'd stop doing it. Now, if you've found out some of this, start to take some sort of positive action. Start to take action in a way that you don't tell him or her exactly what you're doing, because they get really sly and they're really clever. And I'll tell you something about gang kids, they really do know how to manipulate things. Now, it's a good idea to go into school, see what they're doing, see their grades. And if they don't go to school, it don't really matter. Get them to school. It's important. Now, we have got gangs in school. I can't deny that. And, you know, schools do the best they can to stop the gang culture coming across. But as parents, we've got to make a move. Now, you know that the gangs are cultural, so they'll try and use some of that as well. Now, I will be doing another one of these about gangs, where I'll go into more detail. But, you know, take a few words of wisdom. Start looking at them kids. Stop being a mum that the only time she defends her kids is when she comes into school. And you defend him because you want him to be loyal to you. Guess what? You lost his loyalty a long time ago. The minute you decide to let him go on the road and come at 11, 12 o'clock, you don't know what he's doing, you lost his loyalty. It's not the way to do it. So, you know, do yourself a favour, all right? Wind your neck in. Start thinking about what he's doing. Start being a parent. Why do you parents just want to be friends? I mean, listen, I've got to tell you this. I had a little boy, and I call him a little boy because that's what he is. And, you know, he was telling he had a little argument with his mum in the foyer. And he says, Mum, I don't want to do it. And she goes, you're going to do it. And he says, I'm not effing going to do it. Now, that was a little bit shocking to him, but I left it. So I grabbed him a bit later, and I said, what are you talking to him like that? He said, oh, it's nothing, it's only my mum. I had to explain to him how important a mother's role is in life. It's not just something you can throw away. Anyway, look, you know what, I'm waffling on too much. I've got to leave a little bit. Have a look at my SoundCloud. I'm a bit more frank on there. It's www.soundcloud.com. When you go into SoundCloud, in the interface there's a little magnifying glass. Put in that little magnifying glass. You listening? Good. Chris Jones. No, don't write it down. I'll spell it for you. C-R-I-S-S space Jones. C-R-I-S-S space Jones. Have a look at that. See what you think. Come back to me if you've got any problems. I am sure I can guide you in the right direction. And if you want to have a look at my website, which I like looking at, it's www.chrisjones.com. Anyway, there'll be another one of these in the next day or two when I get a bit of time. I hope it's been useful. Remember, gangs are the things that are really spreading our community apart. You know, if we've got to do things, we've got to do it together. Okay? And by community, oh yeah, I've got to say something before I go. I'm not into the black and white thing. I'm really not. I'm into the person who digs his head out of his arse, basically, and gets on with his work. That's what I'm into. I'm into getting it done right. There's only one way, the right way. Anyway, thank you for listening. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.